Uh-oh. Okay, it says I'm live. Let me know. Are we live? Can you hear me? Is the volume good? Let's just give it a minute for you guys to catch up. I'm going to check my stream here, see how we're doing. Hopefully it's doing okay. Oh, there it is. All right. Can you hear me now? Everything's good? Hey there, Crypto Fever. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well, Jay. All right. So it looks like you guys are hearing me okay. Just give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're hearing me. I just want to make sure audio video is good. If we have live stream problems because of the hotel can't keep up with the internet, I'll just shut her down, make a video, and upload it, and get you my analysis that way. Or yeah, that's probably the best way to do it, more than likely. So just know that that is my backup plan. Okay. All right. Keith says it's fine. I hope it's okay. All right. Is the mic too loud? Is it loud enough? Everything good on the settings, guys? Because I got a different mic as well. It's a headset. It's a Logitech headset. It ain't nothing special for sure. All right. Jay says it's perfect. We're going to get going. I'm going to trust Jay. All right. Don't forget, guys, ain't nothing I'm going to say. I'm eating ice in the microphone. Isn't that hilarious? Sorry about that. All right. Nothing I'm going to say is financial advice. I'm just a guy here in Pittsburgh right now in a hotel room, just telling you what I'm seeing in the charts. So with that said, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. I'm going to tell you how I might be spending mine, and sharing trade ideas with you, but not giving you financial advice. Okay. All right. With that said, let's jump into the analysis. All right. Let's start with the title, guys. Last week we talked about a possible alt pump that might be coming. Well, last week's kind of dump. Did that invalidate it? No, not necessarily, but it did make the chart look different. So we need to really look into that. We need to check the chart out. Is Bitcoin as bearish as it looks? Yes, I believe Bitcoin is bearish, very bearish. The question is, what is the wave structure showing on the chart? And let's just do some analysis on it, okay? I haven't done any heavy analysis personally over the last several days. I've been playing in the state Michigan Amateur Championships in disc golf, and I just finished it today. Came in 60, I don't know, 67th place, 65th place, something like that. High 60s out of 150 people. So, I didn't perform great, but I wouldn't last. And I was better than half of them. So, yeah. So with that said, anyway, I haven't done any heavy analysis on the wave structure, but we're going to look into it deeply here, and we're going to ask some questions about what it could mean. Okay, so let me just remind you of my main count. I'm going to go a little faster than normal, try to get the analysis out to you quickly. My main count is that this right here is an A wave, that this right here is a B wave that finished right there, okay? And then we're looking for a C wave to the downside. That's my main count. I'd like to see that, and that could take, to the end of the year. That dump right there could take even longer than that. Okay, just timing is always hard. Is it going to go straight down in a day to $50,000? No, it generally probably will not do that. It's going to take some time, okay? So I'm not calling for, major dumpage all the way down. We will see a retrace. And that's what I need to say on the front end, that when I call for a pump and a dump, I'm looking at wave structure now, and I'm thinking, okay, what could this wave structure be? I'm at the end of the day, I'm looking for this wave to finish, and I'm looking for a retrace, okay? And that retrace could take the form of an expanded flat, which we're looking at right there, okay? In which case, it would go up relatively quickly and then begin dumping again, okay? So you'd see a pump and a dump. Now, the thing about it is nothing happens on a dime, and nothing happens exactly, when I see it in the chart. Sometimes, every candle you see on the screen is a daily candle, okay? That's a daily candle. So that means it could take several days to see that pump. So is this wave coming? I think it could be, and I think we'll talk about what it's looking like. And if this wave comes, what would it be? What would the wave structure imply? And what's the direction of price if that wave comes? The quick answer is I believe down. Okay, a pump followed by a dump. Now, again, that's not going to happen this week. It's not going to take place this week. It's not going to happen immediately. Okay, so you got to understand that things take time. Okay, so just because this week's video has a pump and dump incoming doesn't mean that that's going to happen this week, and it's going to happen tomorrow. It's simply it's something to grab your attention that highlights what I might be seeing as far as the wave structure is concerned on the chart. So let me just explain that on the front end, because I don't put hype videos out there and I don't do clickbait, but I do try to grab your attention with the titles just to give a synopsis of what I'm seeing so I can show you. So basically, if this count is correct, then the way I'm counting this wave structure is that's A, B, and this is the C wave of the B. C wave of the B wave. Okay, so this is a flat in and of itself, B wave. So we got an A flat, we got a B flat that overtook the high. We talked about this heavily and extensively last week, okay, where we are currently playing around in the expanded pocket, and we've reversed. It looks like we've reversed and broken structure. That's critical. We have broken structure. We not only broke it, we retested and have come back down. The question is, are we going to retest it more significantly? Because the retest of that structure did not satisfy me personally from what we normally see. It went up really fast and then it just came straight back down. That's not a normal retest, and it did not retrace to the percentage I normally like to see. So I believe that what could be setting up here, what maybe, is that this could be an expanded flat in and of itself. Okay, a larger wave. So this we could be saying, and I don't know if this is or not, but it's certainly a way to interpret it. Okay, where this is the first wave, and this three-wave move was the A wave, B wave, C wave. We're looking for C now to get us back up to the target that we're looking at. We're looking at to follow by more down once that wave finishes. Okay, it would be a wave along the lines of. Oh, sorry. I'm on my laptop. Oh, sorry guys. I'm on my laptop, so everything's a little different. But when you have tops, and after the first wave, I mean, let me just show you. Okay, you see that first wave right there? You had this. Well, that may not be it actually. Sorry. You had this first wave. Now this retraced pretty high. Okay. Now this became a W wave. Then not a W, but an X wave. So this was W. That was X. This was Y. But nevertheless, you had the first wave followed by a pretty hefty retrace. Now that's not the same as a reversal, because but that's an example of the high time frame move we're looking at. To give you another example, might be this one. This might be a nice wave to look at, where you had the initial wave off the top. Okay, boom, right there, followed by a pretty deep retrace. Okay, notice that you had an initial move up pretty quick after this, but it really didn't satisfy. It had to come down and hit again, then followed by that wave. So I'm thinking that we might be in for something like that. Maybe it's just an idea. It's a thought. It's a wave. It's a common thing that Bitcoin likes to do. Okay. Again, now this one came down and it took the top out before it dumped. Nevertheless, Bitcoin likes to retest, okay, after the first wave. So let me see if I can get back to the beginning here. There we go. All right. So if this is reversal, I'm looking for a retest. I'm looking for a 60% retrace of Bitcoin on the small time frame. That's the pump I'm referring to. That's kind of what I'm thinking could be taking place here. Okay. So that's a possible pump. Now when is that going to happen? Well, I don't know. Timing sucks, right? But maybe after the first week, maybe we get another week of playing around. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't play around too much. But we might play around, hit the low, come back up, form. And what I just drew right there, that takes us through the 4th or 5th of September. Okay, depending. So this could come down, play around, come back up, create the first wave, take forever to retest, another week or so before it starts pumping up or starting to move up and out of there, okay, and give us that C wave. So that could take a while to develop. And in fact, what I just drew right there, that takes us into the middle of September, and it could go even farther than that towards, about the middle of September. That looks about proportional. Sunday, 15th of September range, and that would prepare us for a first move down and then a retrace back to the upside before it starts to dump again. Something like that, guys. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So when I say pump and dump incoming, that's what I mean by the title. Okay. So the question becomes, what would the alts do if that occurs? Well, I mean, they would pump along with Bitcoin. It just depends on how and how long things take. But they would pump along with Bitcoin. Now, we'll have to look at the other alt charts to see if that's correct. Now, I don't know if this is the exact wave structure that's coming. I can't predict the exact wave structure. What I'm saying is that that's a possible interpretation of the waves that we're seeing. So what we would be looking at is a 3-wave move. There's your A wave. Okay, and then we're looking at this right here as your B wave, looking for C. Now that C doesn't have to take the top, but I think it should. I think it will, but I don't know that. But to get us back up to this, at least the 50% retrace is 118, 119. I would love to see a 121 price. 120 to 121 price before it finds a top, plays around, and then comes down. So that's what I would like to see. Whether that happens or not is totally another story. Okay, so looking at this wave structure here, could this just roll over and come take the low? Absolutely, guys, totally could. So if this rolls over and comes down, then we're probably not talking a flat. Okay, we're talking that this is probably part of some kind of finishing wave of the first wave. Guys, this is not going to go straight down forever. Okay, it's going to finish whatever it's doing. Okay, it's going to finish it, and then it'll take plenty of time to retrace back to the upside. So the quicker this thing finishes, the quicker it'll retrace, and then we can get on with the next leg of the move. It just depends. We are coming into September, and we know that September often can be a dumpy month. We know that. We know that things are very, very weird in the world right now. Lots of weird stuff going on. So black swan events, guys, I think are in the works. It would be my guess. There's some black swan events that are ready to be deployed by those who had to give a reason for this dump that I'm seeing as a possibility in the chart. But the Bitcoin chart is showing weakness right now, and you need to sit up and listen to that. Okay. Now we've been talking about that and calling for that for quite a while now, around this area. Right. It's just hit the high a couple more times. Now, could it be that this is just a 3-wave shape, and that once this finishes, it's going to come up and make another high? I mean, I imagine it could, but when I look at that, I don't see the wave structure that supports that. Okay. In other words, when I see when I look at that, I look at the smaller time frame, and I don't see wave structure that supports it. Let me talk to you about that. So, in other words, I'm offering the idea: what if this is just a flat off the top? Could this be A, B, and C? No, the way I drew it, no, that cannot be A, B, C. Okay. Now, if I draw it this way right here, that could be ABC. So that's a potential count there. That's ABC, and what this actually points to is a pump, and not a dump, but a pump and new highs made. Now, if a pump happens and new highs are made, which is a possibility here, then the alts should pump along with Bitcoin, I would imagine, or at least they'd pump a little bit while Bitcoin's finding a top. And once Bitcoin finds a top, as it corrects, you're going to see an initial dump off the other coins, and then if Bitcoin goes sideways and corrects, it may offer time for the alts to pump as well. But we should, depending on how fast this happens in Bitcoin, hopefully it goes slow and methodical to the upside, so those alts can get that pump we talked about last week, in particular that we're seeing on the chart as a potential way to understand the chart. So there's a count that we can consider. It's a tricky one, so let's talk about what would be the count. Now, why can't this be the A wave? Okay. Well, the reason that can't be the A wave is because the B wave wouldn't be 3 waves. It's 5 waves in that scenario. Okay. So if you'll notice, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So you're looking at that scenario. You're like, hey, that's 5 waves. That can't be a B wave. Well, it could be an is what I call an is what it is wave. So as we try to apply Elliott wave theory, we got to understand that the market doesn't play by Elliott wave rules. The wave rules are for us to keep our analysis consistent. So as we look for wave structures and ideas, we try to keep our analysis consistent. So we try to apply Elliott wave in such a way that keeps our doesn't leave us to some subjective idea, but we have rules that constrain us. So if you want to put the A wave here and then call this your B wave, that would be fine and dandy for a count for this to be a 3 wave. So all those you guys who are looking at this as 3 waves, that's the way you're going to have to count it. You're not going to be able to move your A down here. Okay, so if you like that count and you're a Moonboy and you're looking for the next move up, well that's it right there. There's your count. Excuse me, one second. I've got a cough here. Okay, I'm back. All right, so that's the way I would look at that if I was looking at that as 3 waves. However, if that's not 3 waves, how do you count it? Well, I'm going to count this as 3 waves right there. Actually, I'm going to put a flat here in the middle. Boom, 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 and then boom. So we got W, X, Y right there. There's 3 waves. We're going to call this an ending 5-wave move. Okay, so we're going to call this some kind of wave 4, and this is some kind of wave 5. Okay, that would be the ending wave. That means that this ended something. Okay, more than likely. Oh, sorry. Get that off the screen. Control Z. There we go. That ended something, and this is beginning something, and that's the count I started with. I started the live stream with it. This is beginning something. We're looking for a retrace back to the upside, 50 to 60% of the initial move, and then we're looking for more down. Okay, so that's what it would be if this is beginning something. We're looking for this thing to finish. Okay, I don't know how it's going to finish. I can't really count this. I can't tell you if that's finished or not. I had an idea that this was finished here, right? And then we got this move right there. It's just too shallow of a retrace. I wasn't really satisfied with it. Could that be a wave 2? You better believe that could be a wave 2. This could be real deep, but I don't like that as a wave 2. I don't think it's a wave 2. It's not a normal wave 2. Let's just say it that way. So, but we have to at least allow for the notion that this is going to go down a lot deeper and faster than we give it credit for. We have to at least allow for that idea. We can't say no. It's going to act like it's always acted. Okay, because really, just because it acted one way in the past, that doesn't mean it has to act the same way now. Just because Bitcoin acted a certain way after previous halvings doesn't mean it has to act that way now. Okay, just because price reacted off of the 200 moving average at one time doesn't mean price has to react off the 200 moving average now. In other words, previous ways that Bitcoin has moved doesn't necessitate future movement. So we do look at the past and we say, hey, this is how Bitcoin has acted in the past, and it might give us some clues to the future, but that doesn't mean with certainty that that's what Bitcoin's going to do. In fact, if you see a wave structure that is acting a way that's almost exactly like it's acted before, bet your bottom dollar, maybe don't bet your bottom dollar, but you better believe that more than likely it's faking you out. It's giving you, oh, it did that before. We're looking for it to do this, this, and this. And people do fractal analysis, and fractals are a thing, right? But listen, when you find a perfect fractal, chances are it's gonna change it up, and you're gonna be left wondering, okay, what happened? Because it didn't do the same thing. It looked like it was going to do the same thing, and then it does something different. That's very common, very common. So uh, this thing has made a high. It's come down in three waves. It's gone up. It's come down in three waves. It's gone up. Okay, we got another three-wave move. Are we going to go up again? Is this going to get a bigger three-wave and then go up again? Probably not. Probably not going to do the same thing. This might keep coming down deeper than you think it's going to come down. Okay, and then retrace and then come down. You could really see a move like that. Who knows how deep this first move is going to be? But I do know that when Bitcoin dumps, and if this is the dump that we've been calling for quite a while, around the 100,000 mark, we've been. I mean, we were looking at this as a top, right? As a potential top. Well, this right here, until it took it out, and then we say, okay, we had a flat. We knew that this was going to retrace. I was hoping it was going to be done about 102 and then come back down for three waves, but it went and took the top out. Okay, so now I'm saying, hey, there's a really good chance that this is a top, but it might just be a B wave, and we're going to get a really, really fast C wave to the downside. That could be on the table. We might not get any deep retraces. Bitcoin could do something to surprise everybody, take everybody out of the game. We have this deep, fast move that comes with FUD. It comes with a black swan event. Price comes down to the $50,000 mark, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, Bitcoin just starts flying. Okay, you got to understand that that's a possibility, and I think it's a real plausible possibility because that's the way they do it. Now, could it take a lot longer? Yes, it could take a lot longer, but that's an idea that I've been talking about, or at least I talked about the last couple live streams, that we could just get a quick, fast move down, followed by a V-shaped recovery and new highs to be made. But we could get a hit back down to $50,000. Shoot, it could wick all the way down to $40,000. That could be a three-wave correction right there, boom, setting us up for one of the biggest moves of all time. Okay, that would set us up for a leading diag, short retrace, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right to there. Okay, with a very shallow and quick retrace, leading diagonal 1, 2, and this sets us up for another 1, 2, and then Bitcoin can take off. So that's my Moonboy count, Keith M. I know you always ask for the Moonboy counts. That's my Moonboy count right there. That I really want to see a washout of price down here first before I see a V shape and then the higher highs made. That's the way I believe price is probably going to play out. It doesn't have to because I believe it. I'm just telling you what I believe and why I believe it. That's a wave structure we commonly see. Okay, where this becomes a wave 1 and a wave 2. Okay, and when you get a leading diag like this, often you get very shallow retraces. Okay, very quick and fast retraces, and then price gets moving again. Leading diagonals look corrective. It looks choppy. It looks like it's going to take forever, and then all of a sudden you get this boom, this flat boom, and then she takes off. Okay, that happens on small time frames all the time. It can also happen on the macro time frame. Okay, I would not be surprised at this stage in the game to see a hit down to $50 or $40,000. Okay, but I would imagine we could see a V-shaped recovery after that. All right, let me check in here, guys, with the chat here. Okay, 1 second. There you guys are. How we doing? You guys doing okay in the chat there? Oh, nice. Let's see. What's up, Nick? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Andrew Vegas Investments? Good to see you. I didn't say hi when you came in. What's up, buddy? All right. I just want to make sure I say hi to you when you come in. All right. So anyway, so there's a Moonboy count, but that has us retesting 50K. Now, does my idea of this thing coming down to 50K, does that have to play out? No, it doesn't have to play out. But is it possible that it could? Absolutely. So when we look at this wave here, it could take a couple of shapes here. Number one, again, A, B, and then C, and then we're looking for 5 waves. Okay, so that means that generally speaking, we're looking for 5 waves off the top. So this would be a 1 wave, looking for 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's kind of what I'm watching for. But that's going to come down in waves. It's going to take time. It's going to take, I mean, what I just drew right there takes, I mean, if it happens just like I drew it, that takes us into February and next year before this finishes. Now, it could take a lot longer than that. This 2 wave could go fast, or it could take a long time to develop, and then all of a sudden you get the 3 wave. Oops, sorry, you get wave 3 way over here. That takes a lot longer to develop. Okay, so you get something like that. That could take us into 2027. So in other words, this first wave might be taking shape, and then we could have this real long and drawn out, slow and methodical wave back to the upside. Okay, that takes a long time. Everybody thinks it's going to go up here. Okay, they have a lot of time to sell off and distribute, and then boom, before you know it, it comes down. You get a bounce off of 50. It comes down, hits 40 one time, and then we get the V-shaped recovery in 2027 time frame. Okay, so that could take longer. Okay, so we understand that timing is almost impossible to figure out. What we try to do here on this channel is just track every week the wave structure, see if there's any clues to what the wave structure might be doing. Okay, so that's the macro analysis, guys, right there. All right, so let's do some micro analysis here, and then we'll work on the alts, and then I'll open it up for any questions you guys might have. Okay, all right. So on the micro here, micro time frame, let's just do some work here. Let me start in the 4 hour, and I'll work my way down here. Okay, so on when I do micro analysis, I'm looking for signs that this wave might be finished, or is there more to come? Okay, that's basically what I'm looking for. Is the wave finished? Is it showing signs of what we normally see in a finished wave? And is there any sign of reversal? Always looking for those signs because we want to know when to take profit. We want to know when our short is finished and when the long might happen. So one of the counts that I'm watching, I already shared it on the front end, but let's dive into this a little bit heavier now. Is that this is a flat A wave right here? So we're gonna call this a flat A wave, starting right here, and then we're gonna go up, boom, right there. We have already hit the 1618 once, bounced off, and we've hit it again. Okay, so we're at the area that I would really like to see Bitcoin make a reversal if this is a flat. Now, I don't know if it is a flat or not, but as I offer it as an idea, okay, we're at the area that I'd really like to see Bitcoin start working its way to the upside. Okay, now if Bitcoin comes down and hits this low and takes that low out, okay, then we're looking at this as a 3-wave correction, and we're looking at this as possibly another 3-wave correction that could hit as a flat. But if that happens, we would expect more down likely, or at least a 3-wave that could get more complex. Okay, so that's one way to look at that. Or this thing could be some kind of a wave 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It finished something. It could happen. It could be an ending diag, something like that. Just hit this low, and then work its way up. Okay, and that would still be valid as a flat. So in other words, we can take this low or not take the low, but taking the low changes the wave structure a little bit as what we expect. Okay, so if this low gets taken, okay, we're not looking at this as impulse followed by correction and then more up. We're not looking at that as A, B, or 1, 2, and then followed by 3, because wave 2 cannot take the origin of wave 1. It can't retrace beyond it. So if this low gets taken, that invalidates that count. We would look at this as some kind of flat See, and that's when it opens up all kinds of possibilities there, if that's a flat, because this is where it gets a little complicated. Okay, if that's a flat, well, this also could be 3 waves right there. We could take the low or not take the low. It doesn't matter, right? But we've already come back 90%, so this could then follow up with a 5-wave move to the upside. That would be a fake out, okay? Because that would be 3, 3, 5. Okay, now that could go higher than I've drawn it, but the point is we'd be looking for 5 waves to complete, followed by a downward wave after it. That's the wave structure we would expect, okay, if this is a flat. All right, so that's something that could happen. Now, if this low is not taken and we see reversal here, then this could be a 1 and a 2, all right, followed by a wave 3. Okay, which that could continue to the upside on the higher time frame and give us that 5-wave move we were looking for. Okay, that flat on the higher time frame that we're looking for. Boom, 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 right there. Okay, so that's on the table as a wave structure possibility. I don't know if that's going to play. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's possible. Give me 1 second, guys. My throat is killing me. I'm going to take a drink. I want to mute my mic for a second. Okay, I'm back. All right, so those are some small time frame ideas there that I would be watching personally as I'm watching this price develop here towards the low. Does that low get taken? Does it not get taken? Those are the questions I'm asking. Because if that low gets taken, it invalidates some counts and it opens up the door for other counts and other ways of looking at the wave. Okay, so I'm going to watch if this wave is taken. If that wave gets taken, I'm going to then possibly look at this as a flat. Okay, and then I'm going to say, okay, is this 3 waves? Am I going to get another wave to the upside? So is this just going to hit the low and then reverse like that? If that happens, then I'm really interested to see this potentially come back down again. That's going to open up the possibility for a short trade, okay, for another hit to the low, okay, maybe, or just 3 waves and this get more complex to the upside. If that more complex wave develops, then I'm like right here. This was a complex wave right there. I was looking for 5, didn't get 5. Rather, I got 3, 3, and then 3. That's a complex wave. That's what we call a WXY. It's a double correction. Okay. So the question becomes, does this low get taken or not? All right. So that's what we're looking for, guys. Does that low get taken? If it does, is this going to create a flat? Does this low hold? If it does hold, then we can look at this as a potential 1-2. Are we going to get a big move to the upside? Is that going to take us up, take that high, maybe even take this high and take out some liquidity? People short in the market right now, short because they're looking for the next move down. Are they going to take them out first before they give them the short? And that's the thing. That's the question. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's a common play, right? They're giving you the look. They made a low. They pulled back. Now they're rolling over, coming at it hard, really hard and fast. Now the question is, are they going to give you that dump, or are they going to feign the dump, take it back up, and then give it to you, which is a flat? Or is this part of a 1-2, and they're going to come and take out a bunch of shorts that people are shorting here on these moves, take them out first, and then come down? Which one do you think is going to happen, guys? Are they going to take out the local? Are they going to liquidate some longs first? You think they're coming down deeper, okay, before they come up here? Or are they going to reverse here and then come down? So it just depends on where the liquidity is. Are there more longs than shorts right now? Are they people shorting? People shorting right now, or are they taking profit and looking to go long here? What does the chart look like? Well, I'll tell you, when I look at this chart, I'm thinking, man, this thing keeps going down. It's going down. It went straight up, took the low, went up again, it took the low. Now it's having a hard time. Looks like it's going to take the low again. But remember, whenever it keeps looking like it's going to do one thing, guys, remember, it often does the very opposite thing you're looking for. So right now, as an Elliott waiver, I'm really interested to know, what is this structure? Is that an impulse, or is that a corrective wave? Is this going to be complex, or is this going to be simple and take the low and go deeper? Okay. It really, to me, it looks like it wants to go deeper right now. So it very much could. But it doesn't have to. It could totally reverse here. It's 10:30. Oftentimes we get a move around 10:30. So after, basically, which is about 2.5 hours after the market closed, it's gonna be setting up for the evening price action, which is going to set the stage for tomorrow morning's price action. Okay. So Chemo, he's got an idea. Says he would watch for a bounce to 115, and then before a really nice sell at 121. Yeah, I'm really hoping that 121 gets hit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, guys, I've been talking a lot. My throat is just dying here. Give me one more second. Okay, I'm back. I'm back, and I'm bad. Okay, all right. So let's do some alt analysis. Let's look at some alt charts. See what XRP is doing here. Let's take a peek at XRP, then we'll look at Ethereum, and we'll just we'll keep this a simple live tonight since I'm on my laptop, guys. So what's the wave structure? So what I like to do now is, once I've done the macro analysis, I'm like, okay, what's the wave structure saying for the charts here for the alts? Is there any kind of indication from the alts? Well, XRP looking super bearish right now, just really, really looking bearish, looking like it wants to roll over and give us a major low. I mean, so that's the way it's looking and appearing right now. Again, the question becomes, and one of the things I'm looking at right now is, are we going to get a little pump right here, where this is 3 waves, that's 3 waves, and this could take the low as well. This could come in here and take this low and then just shoot up really fast, okay, for a liquidity grab here before a move to the downside. So that's something we see often, okay. If you'll notice right here, okay, see how this is breaking the structure right here. See how it broke the structure. Now this came way down, right? But see that liquidity grab right there? That's kind of a common play, and you see the same thing happening here, where you got these liquidity grabs. Whenever XRP likes to take these dives, okay, you see these liquidity grabs. So the question is, are we going to see a very deep move? And on the smaller time frames, sometimes what happens is, for instance, like here's an example of where this came down. You had 3-wave move, and this looked like it was going to go. Boom, it hit it again. It looks like it was going to go, and then boom, it hits it again. Right. In other words, it looks like it's going to roll over and keep going down, but you get the liquidity grab first before it comes down to that area. So that's just common XRP price action. When the price looks like it's coming down, usually you get those big liquidity grabs first. So the question becomes, are we going to get a big liquidity grab first, or are we going to get a big dump here first that's kind of deep and take some people out first, and then do we get that? So 2 ideas on the small time frame. This is 4-hour analysis here. One idea is that this is going to be A, this is B, looking for C. You get a bit of a liquidity grab there, and then you get a deeper move to the downside. Now, I don't know what could happen. There's some different things that could happen after that move there. In other words, after this liquidity grab, you could then get a bigger, oh, come on, you could get a bigger move to the upside later, right? So there's a possibility. So you could get higher highs later on after this wave completes, right? And what that would be is some kind of boom, boom, boom. Okay. This could come up. Another idea, if you're going to get a liquidity grab, it could come and take a higher level. Let's see if I can draw it here. Let me get the RSI off the screen. There we go. So you could get a larger one. Okay. In which case we'd redraw that. I'd like to see this thing come down a little bit deeper and then you come up here. Okay. Then all of a sudden you got boom, 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 3 waves and then down. Again, similar concept as Bitcoin. You get this pump, this impulse wave that finishes a flat before more downside coming. Okay. All right. And then the real bearish look at this. I mean, if you want to look at it real bearishly, I mean, you have a 5-wave move. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And you have a 3-wave pullback. And this is now just impulsing. It just, I mean, it's just, this could start going down faster and deeper. You could get liquidity grabs and then deeper. Okay. So if we get a major dump in Bitcoin and all the other alts follow it, yeah, we could see a sell-off. Okay, because the higher time frame, again, idea of XRP, one idea, the bearish idea is that this is a flat in and of itself, where you have 3, that's 3 looking for 5 to the downside. We already have a 1, 2, and now we're in the 3rd wave, and the 3rd wave just needs to kind of break out of here, okay? And we're coming back down here. Okay, that's an idea. I don't know if that's going to play or not, but that's a higher time frame idea. The thing about it is all kinds of stuff can happen up here before that happens first. Okay, so, but that's a macro idea on XRP that we're going to watch. Now the idea I was looking at last week, okay, and you can see why we were looking at that this last week is because we had I was looking at this possibility right here. Oh, sorry. Let's try it again. I was looking at this possibility. Come on. My mouse is jumping. Right here for a move up to here. Or to continue on to the upside. But we haven't broken this level, I don't think. Maybe we have. I'm not sure if it's broken or not. But it can break if it wants to. But if it breaks, then we have to count it differently. Okay. I think more likely, and here's a possibility here. It feels more likely that this move needs to finish to the downside. That feels more likely. Boom, 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 right there. You got some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some kind of move like that, where this comes down, and then maybe we go up. Maybe this is some kind of ending diag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finishing something, and then we get a dump, and that would work with Bitcoin, where Bitcoin finishes whatever the first move it does, and then you get a retrace, and then XRP does the same thing, finishes what this move, and then goes up, takes the high, stop hunts everybody, and then reverses. So, that's something possible as well. So just doing some small time frame analysis. So I can see several different wave structures here. But the first thing I'm watching is, do we get some kind of reversal right here to move? If we get a reversal right here back to the upside, I'm going to be looking for more downside once this high gets taken. Once this little level gets taken, I'd be looking for more downside after that. If that's a way. If this thing continues its dump to the downside, then I'm looking for this to be my 3-wave structure, and then I'm looking for some kind of liquidity grab that takes that level out or takes this level out later, okay, then I'd be looking for more downside for that. That's a wave structure I would pay attention to. So lots of different things that can happen here. The question is, what's going to happen? I don't know. So trading this, doing an Elliott wave analysis and what could happen, and trading it's a completely different story. I would, as I'm tracking waves, I like to use my trend lines. Okay, so watch for trend line breaks. Okay, we have a trend line break here. Okay, see that break right there? We have a break. Okay, so that's bearish right now. This is bearish. And it's fairly strongly bearish. Okay, that's very bearish looking, but it's so bearish looking here on a Sunday that I think it's possible that we see some volume come in and some liquidity taken tomorrow or this week. Okay, this could be this week's price action. So watch out for that move. That's at least something on my radar as a possibility. Okay, let me just check in with the chat here. Thanks, Sean Foster, for the encouragement. Just smash the likes. Appreciate that. All right, let's look at Ethereum now, and then we're gonna kind of call it an evening here. So what's Ethereum doing? Ethereum's a different baby, because this wave structure I've had the hardest time with. But what's happening right now is that we have very locally some local bearishness, but on the smaller time frame, we have some bullishness potentially. Again, this wave, I'll be honest with you, I've had a really hard time with this wave. Here is one way to interpret this on the macro. I'm just watching XRP here. I want to see what it's going to do right here, right at this moment. Give me 1 second, guys. I think XRP just took that low, or is about to take it. Don't really have any strong volume coming in quite yet, but I imagine we're getting ready to see some volume come in. Let's see what Bitcoin take its low yet? I want to see what's going to happen right here, because this low is. I wish I had my other computer, because then I could see the chat and and the chart at the same time, but I can't do it, so I'm sorry. Little bit of volume coming in. Little bit of volume coming in, but not really anything to speak of yet. Okay, so back to XRP. Not XRP, but Ethereum. So how do you read this? How do you interpret this? Well, one way to interpret it is that this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's 5 waves. And that now here's a tricky one. This is your A wave, okay, and that this is 3 waves. That's 3 waves, and this is 3 waves. In which case you've got a WXY B wave that could be finished, needing the C wave back down to the, which would set us up for the buy of the century. Not to zero. I know it looks like I drew it to zero, but about between $400 and $800. Okay. Now that's the macro. That's a macro idea. That's if Bitcoin dumps fast. Now I don't know if that's the case or not, but that could play. That would be one interpretation of this. Now the bullish interpretation is that we are in the middle of a bullish wave. Okay, that we have some kind of 1-2 here. This is going to, these corrections are going to be small and short-lived, looking for more upside. Okay. But I'll be honest with you guys, Ethereum is a conundrum to me. The best I've got right now is that be careful. This could be a B wave and C. Now, this B wave may not be finished. This could come down and then come back up. Take the high and then come down deeper. So careful on that one. But Ethereum is a challenge. I believe in Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to run. I think if Ethereum is the new banking token, I think there's all kinds of reasons why Ethereum is a good purchase. I'm not giving financial advice, but I believe Ethereum is the thing, and I think the DeFi network is the new banking. And you got the smart contract with Ethereum. So I think that's important for the future of money, more than likely. It seems that Ethereum is going to be part of that picture. Okay, so I believe in Ethereum. Now, whether does that mean it's just going to go straight up right now? I mean, it could, but it doesn't have to. We could see a massive crypto winter coming. Again, I've been talking about this for a long time now. Crypto winter that kills a bunch of these alts that have no real use case, so that the money can flow from those alts out of them and into the alts that have real use case, so that those alts can pump properly. It's going to take though a major dump, some kind of FUD, some kind of how do I say it? Some kind of black swan event of some kind that's going to scare everybody, and then allow for the big boys to sell off and then repad their pockets, or allow you guys to sell off while they buy, and then Bitcoin could go to $1 million after this final move. Okay. Again, I think it's very likely that Bitcoin is going to revisit $50,000 at some point, some way, before the major macro long-term move. I think there's going to be one more opportunity, so that all the big boys that just got in the game, that just got here, that just positioned themselves, they can position themselves more properly. they're all working together. They had to build the trust of the people in this wave. Now they got to take everybody's money. Hold on one second. Okay, so Ethereum's a challenge, guys. It is a super challenge. Let's look in on ADA. ADA is an interesting chart. Again, ADA seems like it needs, okay, another move to the upside, even a pump that takes it up here. It seems like it needs that move, okay, before you get a macro correction. So I look at this and thinking, but the problem with ADA here is that we have locally we have a break in structure. Okay, so that's showing weakness. That break is displaying weakness on the chart, and until we get a break of structure back to the upside, we're looking at this thinking, this is fairly weak. Okay, right now this looks like it's ready to go down. If we get a big green candle, this is the 3-day chart. So over the next 3 days, if we get a big green candle on this, that's an engulfer, then I'll like it. Okay, there it is. There's the fake out to the downside, and this is ready to move up. Okay, so I would love to see that. I think that's a possibility. Looking at Ethereum, I forgot to look at the micro analysis here. So looking at Ethereum on the small time frame, you can kind of see the possibility here that this is 3 waves right here, and this could be moving up. Okay, so that wave could be coming if this right here, that looks very much like 3 waves, a very common 3-wave shape. So if this is 3, boom, we could see a hit to the high and then another low, okay, but that little move should come. Or we could see a bigger move to the upside, where this is some kind of 1-2-1-2, followed by a bigger move to the upside. So that would be a bullish look. That's some bullishness, if you want to consider it as possible. Okay, this very much looks like 3 waves right there. The problem with that is that this came up and then came back down, took that low. Okay, so does this come down and do this, and that would be W, X, and then Y maybe, or is it not 3 waves at all? Right? What if this is a flat? What if this comes up here, boom, and that's a flat, and this comes down again? Okay, watch out for that move right there. You get a pump and then a dump. Okay, so that's an example of the pump and dump that I see as a possibility on the chart, but that's a faster one. That's a smaller time frame one that I'm talking about. Let's look on the 4 hours, see if there's anything. So what is this wave here? What's going on? What is this? Okay, well, when I look at it, I'm looking at this as a wave, I'm looking at that as a wave, and I'm looking at this as a wave. So it resembles 3 waves right now, right? And you say, how do you count this? How do you count this wave? 1, 2. You're looking at this 3, 4, 5. That's the way you look at that, but they came down and hit the high again, right? So I wonder if they're making some kind of a bigger flat. They're going to come down here, take that, and then take it up. That's a bullish count. Or, again, like I said, this was 3, this is 3, and this is 3. That could be 3 right to there. Now this is reversal, pullback, and continue down. Okay, the way that would fit in the grand scheme of things is that would be, come on, let me go to the 3-day chart. There we go. That would be part of that WXY I was mentioning, WXY. It could get a little bit more complex if they want to, but that would take a lot more time. So that could be some kind of 3 waves move. That gives us something like that, running flat or an expanded flat, and then boom. Then we get a V-shaped recovery sometime in 2026, 2027 time frame. So that goes with that concept that I shared already. All right. Okay, so that's where we stand, guys. That's the analysis. I don't know what's going to happen here. I can't predict the higher time frame waves exactly. I've offered the ideas of the analysis that I've given, but on the smaller time frame, it's hard to say what the wave shape's going to be. This is one of those I don't know burgers right now, where this thing has to finish, and it's going to do what it's going to do. It's going to grab your liquidity. It's going to take from you if you're trading poorly. It's going to take your money from you first before it gives you the upside, more than likely. So watch out for a stop hunt tonight with a move to the down. So watch out for a move to the downside first, followed by a move up. Or if it pumps tonight, then watch out for a setup for a short once liquidity is taken to the upside. So which one's going to happen first? The way it looks right now, it's looking very bearish, but again, it's Sunday night. So that usually Sunday night is a trap night for Monday. Sunday sets up for Monday's price action. So how deep is it going to go tonight if it goes tonight? And then what's it setting up for tomorrow? So is this going to come down deep, okay, and then pop to the upside? Or are we going to get some kind of move to the upside over the next couple of weeks, okay, and then down later? Okay, so I kind of look at that. I look at that and say that makes a lot of sense. We've got to play around down here for the next 2-3 days or more before we start moving up, probably next weekend. So probably this week is going to be an if we don't move down hard tonight, to liquidity grab tonight, then expect some sideways action down here at the bottom. Expect this wave to really play around down here, okay? So again, small time frame, just a quick check-in on the small time frame. Did we take that low yet, guys? Did we take that low? We have not taken the low. So once this low is taken, that closes the door to some of my counts, right? And I've already talked about that. You have to rewind the video if you haven't seen that, okay? All right, guys, what say you? Any final words you guys have? Hope that analysis was helpful. Can't do a full-blown live stream as I normally do. I'm in a hotel room on my laptop, and man, I've been driving all day. After I played in a tournament this morning, and I'm pretty tired tonight, so I'm ready just to kind of relax. I got to drive the rest of the way to Virginia tomorrow. I'm seeing my dad this weekend. Not this weekend, but the next 2 weeks, excuse me. But I'm driving to my dad's tomorrow. So I'm making the rest of the trip tomorrow. It's a 14-hour drive from where I was in Michigan. So anyway, with that said, what say you guys? You get the final word in the chat. What are your thoughts? Are you bullish? You bearish? What do you want to look at silver and gold? Cryptomon, I silver and gold. I'm just a bull boy. I'm a moon boy on silver and gold. Okay, I mean, you could get some intermediate pullbacks, but those things are just going to be going up steadily. Okay, so that's the quick uptake on that. Chemo's bullish from 88. Sounds good, dude. Key thinks up first and then dump. I like that idea. I do. But man, this thing is just kind of chugging slowly, isn't it? That's threatening, but that's what it does at the bottoms. It really draws in liquidity around the bottoms. It's got to make you think it's going to keep going down and never stop before it goes up. Keith's looking for 117, then dump. Okay. CME fill. Okay. Who else? Who else has some ideas? What are you thinking? First, down first, then up then down. Chemo, you got a video out? You got a new video out? Make sure you check out Kemosabi's channel. I gotta binge watch your channel. I haven't watched in a while because I don't watch a lot of YouTube anymore. Awesome. Well, make sure you check out Chemo's video. It's going to come out later tonight. So, all right, guys. Love y'all. Appreciate you. Thanks for being part of the live stream tonight. Hope you had a good time. It was abbreviated, but I tried to get you the analysis. If you're just joining me, just rewind and watch. You'll get all the analysis, all the waves that I'm personally looking for as I watch this wave structure develop from the macro to the micro, guys. Hope y'all have a fantastic evening, and we'll pick it up. We'll pick you up next week. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye. It'll take me a second to turn this off here. See you guys.